Tim, what is one of your favorite games of all time?
Oh man, there are so many, but I probably have to say Chrono Trigger. That game, while being one of the best JRPGs of all time, I mean, it's widely regarded as that. Just that game, for coming out in the era in which it did on the Super Nintendo, is, for one, it has a long, like, it's a fairly lengthy campaign, but it was one of the first that had an active turn-based system, or rather like an active combat system. So you could either have your enemies, like the people you're facing, jump in before you were ready to, and that made the gameplay a lot more exciting. You could also decide whether or not you wanted to actually face the enemies in the world that you run into for like leveling up purposes. There's a lot of great side characters that you include in your party, and also just the time travel aspect itself is really, really neat because you can travel far into the past, into like there's medieval times, there is like caveman era, there's futuristic times where like you actually have like a robot in your party. Not to mention like the music for that game is absolutely gorgeous, and I don't remember who off the top of my head who wrote it, but the story behind the music being written is absolutely fascinating. Like the guy worked so hard on the music that he put himself in the hospital. It is absolutely insane. But the 16-bit pixel art for that game is just fun to look at. Not to mention, it's also one of the earliest games that actually has a New Game Plus mode.